Well, hi there pluckers, Arvosaur Fingers back with you again for hopefully another interesting lesson. This one is my take on a lovely song from Sting from about 1985. The song's called Moon Over Bourbon Street. Okay, hopefully you've seen my playthrough I did yesterday, so hopefully I'll be trying to teach you everything I played in that video. So I'm in standard tuning, no capos, and I'm doing it in D minor, which is the same key as Sting's acoustic version. If you're on YouTube, you can find a video. Just search for Moon Over Bourbon Street by Sting, the acoustic version, okay, and you'll see exactly where we're going to. Okay, trying to copy that. So this is my take on it. It might not be 100%, but it's fairly close to the original, I think. Okay, so the thing to note on this, it's like I say, it's quite jazzy, and it's got lots of chords in it which you may or may not have played before, so you might be learning some new chords as well. Okay, has got some bar chords in it, so if you're not into bar chords you may want to leave this alone. Okay, so the other thing about this song is it's played in a jazzy style, so the chords are mainly downstrokes all the time, single downstrokes, and it's this business where you fret the chord, whichever chord it might be. In this, I'm playing an A7 here like this, and you strum the chord. So you fret the chord, you strum it, and immediately you've strummed it, you take the pressure off your fretting hand. Just release the pressure just for a moment and then put it back again. Okay, so it's momentary off, and what that does, it mutes the strings, so you get a very sharp chord sort of. I mean, if you play it without that, you get, okay, that sort of thing. So I'm trying to get it to sort of snappy, sort of. Okay, so you fret the chord, whichever chord it is. This applies to all the chords in this song. You fret the chord, you downstroke, then you release the pressure, and then put it back again for the next downstroke. See? Okay, so that's all the way through this song on all the chords. Okay, so starting off, then we've got two lots of an intro, which is this. Okay, so that's the intro, also doubles as the outro. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm playing a very basic D minor chord here, 5th fret of the top E string, 6th fret of the 2nd, and 7th fret of the 3rd. Okay, like that, and you just play strings 3, 2, 1. Then you go up to the 8th fret on the top E string for a single hit, and then you do a slide on the top E string from 5 to 7, whichever fingers are comfortable for yourself. Okay, so it's, and you play that twice, that whole thing twice. Okay, got that? Quite a straightforward thing, nothing too difficult about that. Now then we go into the verse, and the first line of the verse is there's a moon over Bourbon Street tonight. Right, so what we're doing there, right, so the first chord is an E minor 7 flat 5. And this is used quite a bit in the song. Okay, so first finger is playing the 7th fret of the 5th string, the A string. Second finger is playing the 7th fret of the 3rd string, the G string. Third finger is playing the 8th fret of the 4th string, the D string, and pinky is playing the 8th fret of the 2nd string, the B string. It's like a diminished shape, but on the inside strings. Okay, so all we're interested in this chord is the strings 5 down to 2. That. Okay, so what I do is my thumb is just resting very lightly against the side of the bottom E string, so it's muted, and my pinky is leaning over a bit, and and also the inside of my first finger is pushing on that top E string, so that mutes it. So if when I do that, I'm not actually hearing the bottom E string or the top E string. But obviously you need to actually try and target the inside 4 strings, okay? Sometimes these are referred to as inside chords, because that's exactly what they are, they're the inside strings, okay? But anyway, so it's E minor 7 flat 5. There's a moon over Bourbon Street. Second chord is an A7. And bar chord A7, that's a bar on the 5th fret, first finger, across all 6 strings. Second finger's playing the 3rd string on the 6th fret, and my 3rd finger's playing the 7th fret of the A string, the 5th string. And that's all 6 strings this time. And again, it's 4 down strokes. Don't forget to release the pressure each time. Okay, like that. So it's there's a moon over Bourbon Street too. Now this bit's quite interesting. This is used a lot in this song, this little D minor run. Okay, so what am I doing there? So that's that D minor, simple D minor again that we used in the intro. 5th fret of top E, 6th fret of the 2nd, 7th fret of the 3rd, along with the 4th string open this time. Okay, so you're just trying to play the top 4 strings. So the first one is, you fret the chord, the first 3 strings anyway, and you try to do the 2. You only do the 2 this time. It's like, again, don't forget to release the pressure in between. Okay, so that's the first chord, D minor. Second chord is this shape. First finger is still playing the 5th fret of the top E string. Second finger is playing the 6th fret of the 3rd string, and my 3rd finger is playing the 6th fret of the 2nd string. That again with the open 4th string. Okay, the D string open. So that's a D minor to this one. This one, the second chord, is a D minor major 7. Okay, it's written as a D minor and then open brackets major 7 close brackets. Okay, if you want it like that. Okay, so the third chord is like a D shape chord. Again, this time the first finger's playing the 5th fret of the 3rd string. Second finger's playing the 5th fret of the top E string. And your 3rd finger's playing the 6th fret of the 2nd string. Again with the open 4th string. This is a D minor 7th shape, or version of. Okay, so it's that's as far as we got. Two stabs on each one. Don't forget to release the pressure each time you've done a strum. Okay, and the final one on this run is this shape that we just got to, the D minor 7th. But for the 4th chord, this first finger goes down to the 4th fret. Leave the other 2 where they were. Okay, so 4th fret of the 3rd string, top E string 5th fret, and 2nd string 6th fret. Okay, again with the open 4th string. And that is a D minor 6. Okay, so you've got D minor major 7, D minor 7, D minor 6. Okay, so right from the beginning, okay, so we've got there's a moon over Bourbon Street tonight. Okay, got that? Slowly. Let's just go for that again. From the beginning of the verse, there's a moon over Bourbon Street tonight. Okay, the second line is exactly the same again with different words. Okay, I see faces as they pass beneath the pale light. Okay, so 2 of the same. 2 lines, the same chord sequence. Okay, third line is different. I've got no choice but to follow that call. Right, so the third line is a G minor 7. That's a bar on the 3rd fret, first all the way across, first finger, and a 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the 5th string, the A string. All 6 strings. Another 4 downstrokes with releases in between, okay? And we go to the A7, which you've already played, for another 4. And then we do this D minor rundown again, same as usual. Okay, so from the beginning, slowly. There's a moon over Bourbon Street tonight. I see faces as they pass beneath the pale lamplight. I've no choice but to follow that call. Okay, now we come to the final line. Another chord, the same as the E flat minor 7. E minor 7 flat 5, but this time we're playing B minor 7 flat 5, which is the same shape as the first chord you played, but down here. Okay, so that's the first finger's playing the 2nd fret of the 5th string, the 2nd finger's playing the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, G string, 3rd finger's playing the 3rd fret of the 4th string, the D string, and pinky's playing the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Again, you only really want to hear the strings 5, 4, 3 and 2. Again, my thumb is resting very lightly on the 6th string, the bottom E strings, so it doesn't sound muted. Okay, again, release the pressure in between each downstroke. Okay, so that last line is the bright lights, so it's 4 strokes on that, bright lights, the people, and that's 4 strokes on an E7. So that's an E chord, basic major E chord, but without the 3rd finger, open 4th string. So you've got the 2nd on the 5th and the 1st on the 3rd, all 6 strings. Again, release the pressure each time, 4 downstrokes. So it's the bright lights, the people, and then finally we go to the A7 again, the moon and all. Now so that's 4 strokes on the A7, moon and all, and then we do 2 strokes on this one, and then 2 strokes back on the A7. And this one here, what you do, you keep the bar on the 5th fret, but from the A7 you keep the 2nd finger where it is on the 6th fret of the 3rd string, but this 3rd finger drops down to the 2nd string, 6th fret, and you go for basically the top 4 strings for 2 downstrokes, again releasing the pressure. Should sound like that. Okay, for the 4 downwards sounds like this. Right, got that? This is an A7 flat 13, I believe. Okay, so from the B minor 7 flat 5, you've got the brides, E7, the people, A7, and the moon at all. 2 downstrokes and then 2 more on the A7 again. And then we're into verse 2. Okay? Right, so let's do the whole thing up to that point, okay? And then we'll call it a day, and we'll come back to the second part for the rest of the song, because most of it after that is fairly... Verse 2 is similar but slightly different in places, not much, but it's similar. And then verse 3 and 4 basically are repeats of verse 1 and 2 with different words, okay? So we'll just finish it off in part 2. So right from the beginning, we'll do it slowly, okay? So here we go. The intro and verse 1. No, let's do it again. I was reading the words there. Hang on. Here we go. There's a moon over Bourbon Street tonight. I see faces, they pass beneath the pale lamplight. I've no choice but to follow that call. The bright lights, the people, and the moon and all. And off into another verse, okay? I pray every day. Okay, into verse 2. So come back into verse part 2 for the rest of the song, okay? And having got that verse 1 and the intro under your belt, you've got most of the song sorted. There's some slight differences in verse 2, but nothing major, okay? So thanks very much for watching and listening. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you in part 2. Bye.